anyone up for an hour of Amiga games? Yes, this time with ChinnyVision, I'm going to be playing Amiga games for an hour. Not the best games, not the worst games. There is no rhyme nor reason to this, other than it just happens to be games I've been playing on my Amiga over the last couple of months. So if your favourite game isn't included, tough. And we're going to begin in a logical place for me anyway. The first game I played on my Amiga 1200, Dizzy, Prince of the Yolkfolk. Of course, a budget game, just happened to be the first game I put into my Amiga when I had to test it before Christmas, because otherwise you'd be disappointed on Christmas Day when it didn't work. It's a Dizzy game, and for my money, the best one. It has a smaller number of screens, for my money, better thought out puzzles, and nicer graphics. Just look how lush that colour fade in the background is. It actually looks like more than just an 8-bit port. Even some of the later Dizzy games don't look as nice as this one. And much of the heat around the later Dizzy games was how big they were. And the thing is, a big game means one you're less likely to complete. And you know what? Prince of the Yolkfolk is a game that you can actually complete. It actually can be done. Yes, it's much of the same, jumping around, missing jumps, dying, tree villages, clouds that let you fall through them and all that stuff. But soundtrack is very good, graphics are nice, and as I say, it's a smaller game which across all formats attracted attention because it just seemed to be tighter and better formatted. Probably the best Dizzy game right up until the new one for the Spectrum. Alien Breed, Special Edition Team 17. Alien Breed game was a game I used to borrow off my friend Martin, and it was a game I enjoyed, and of course Team 17 put out 27 different versions of the game. It's a top-down game based on the Aliens movie, isn't it really, and movies like that. You explore the bases, you collect credits and weapons and shoot the baddies. It's very atmospheric with just sound effects, no music in the background, find the keys for the doors. It's oddly old-fashioned, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's the kind of game, well, Gauntlet, for example, is the one you think of, but it's really well done and very atmospheric. The only thing I don't like about it is I just always think it's just a little bit too zoomed in, that things can surprise you at minimal notice and jump out at you and crowd around you. It would be nice if it was just a little bit further out. But there's a 1 and 2 player option. It is enormous fun, and obviously, as I say, it's from the Gauntlet genre, and there's nothing wrong with that. And remember, this wasn't a full price game back in the day. It's one of those Team 17 oddly priced games like Arcade Pool. It was more like an 8-bit disc title in terms of would it cost 15 quid, something like that. Might be wrong there. Skid Marks, my mate had this, he bought it in Software Plus and Aldershot. He took it back because he said it didn't work. I don't think he liked it. He is watching this, and that's a terrible shame, because Skid Marks is great, if slightly limited. It's Super Sprint. Again, using an old example of the genre, but it is Super Sprint really. And yeah, actually, I think it's probably overpriced for what it was. Quite novel at the time, though, with the 3D rendered graphics, because you hadn't seen anything like this. And I remember we bought it and took it back to his place, and I'd already seen the demo. It's like, this is great. This is great 2-player action, but he really was kind of going, no, it's crashing, it doesn't work. And he took it back, which I think was a terrible, terrible mistake. But it is enormous fun. It's very well done. I could see it's not a full price game, is it? That's the thing. It's just not enough here. If it had been one of those Team 17 not quite full price games like Alien Breed, you could go with it. But it is, you're racing around like Super Sprint. If you bought Super Sprint on budget, you go, yeah, this is a great game, but buying it at full price, going, yeah, there's limited, especially in one-player mode, appeal here. But it is all really well done. It's really polished. We haven't seen anything like this before, and the game comes into its own in multiplayer mode. I think there's options to link up Amigas as well, so you can do more than just 2-player. Putty, the first game I bought on my Amiga. In fact, I didn't have my Amiga. I forsook my firework money to buy fireworks for November the 5th in 1992 and bought Putty from Hitler Games, our local software shop run by a man who looked like Hitler. It wasn't called that. If you watch the channel long enough, you'll know the story. In Putty, you are a piece of silly putty, and you have to release your little friends there from their imprisonment in ice, absorb them one by one, and take them to the top of the level. It's a rather lovely, polished game. There's a bit of a standout on the Amiga. The problem with it is it requires... It's an arcade puzzler, and it just gets a bit much very quickly in terms of enemies bursting out of the background and things just happening that you can't predict. You think it just feels a little bit unfair at times, which is a shame, because it's a game I would have put a lot more time into if I hadn't just got incredibly frustrated with it. Some lovely sampled sound effects. But at some point a wasp will come, here you go, across the top and just drop bombs on you. And there's a cat with a chainsaw who just randomly comes through the background and kills you. With a few tweaks, this game could have been absolutely perfect, as it stood really nice. And of course, the Putty Squad was going to be the follow-up, which never happened. And you can drop onto a spike. Yeah, and I don't like the way you can just drop onto spikes and not get out the way. It's just such small things that stop this game from being absolutely wonderful and take it from what I think is a kind of high 70s game into the 90s. And I'm talking Amiga Power ratings, not Amiga Action there. And it's graphically so nice as well. I mean, this is a standard Amiga game. Actually, it looks almost AGA 256 colour, doesn't it? Now, I really, really like it, but it's just a little bit too flawed. Stuff like that, you don't have time to get out of the way when that wasp appears. You just don't, and it's such a shame. Level completed. And off we go again. And there's so much humour in the game. Look at the carrot jumping up and down and the baddies and everything. It's really well done. System 3 did a terrific job on this game. It's just, yeah. Who's a 9mm? Guardian. The Amiga's answer to Star Fox. Initially came out on the CD32. And look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Unlike Star Fox, or Starwing, which is on rails, this is not on rails. It's a free-roaming world. And you zoom around shooting, you just zoom around shooting things. Lovely gradiated sound effects. Of course, it's AGA only, Amiga 1200 or CD32, showing what this machine can do. Throwing around the vectors, using the processing power. Some lovely gradients. If anything, the game's slightly empty, but you can't really blame it for that. It's got a load of a floppy disk and work with 2 meg. But I really like it. It's an example of we should have had more of this stuff on the Amiga. Is it as good as Star Fox, Starwing? No. But isn't that the case for a lot of these Amiga clone games? Speaking of which, Oscar, a packing game for the CD32 by Flair, the people who gave us Trolls, and the Mr. Blobby game. And it starts off well with a nice soundtrack and lovely graphics, AGA. I think there's a standard Amiga version as well. So on the CD32 you get a soundtrack off from CD. On the Amiga 1200 you don't. This is the 1200 version. which means when you go into the levels, you get no music. From memory, yeah, I think the CD version has music in the levels, and this version doesn't. But on the between level there, because you can select any one of a number of levels to start from, it nicks the idea from Krusty's Super Fun House that you can wander around and then select your level. This game nicks a lot of ideas from elsewhere. And it has interminable loading on CD and disc between levels. But look how lovely and colourful it is. Again, as a screenshot, this game looks really nice. Nice parallax going on. Samples that have clearly come from a sample pack and also will get on your nerves very quickly. And then you realise what the problem is with all these wonderful colours when you start to get baddies against the backgrounds. It all gets a little bit muddled and messy. Each level I've died. I hate that with games where you just fall off a platform at the top and fall down the bottom. It's trying to be Sonic, and in many ways, in some ways, looks nicer, but isn't. And one of the most frustrating things about the game is it takes 3 bounces on baddies to kill them. Who thought that was a good idea? One, jump on the baddie once. That's all you need. That's all you need. It's who on earth thought, what we need to do is have a game where you jump on baddies 3 times to kill them. It's utterly frustrating. And you can see again how cluttered it gets. And yet it boing. You see, it's nuts. Potentially good game, ruined by idiots. And Oscar is a game I got with my CD32, as I may have mentioned. And that's the kind of thing we talk about on the ChinnyVision podcast, which is an occasional delve into the world of retro gaming. Each episode is around 30 minutes, so not 3 hours long. It's all swift and to the point, and it talks to people like you about your experiences back in the day with computers and consoles and what you do now with them, your collections and your memories, everything from people working in computer shops to people recovering teletext and stuff like that. It's occasional, but you can check that out on the link below or just search for ChinnyVision Podcast. It's all hosted on Podbean. Turrican 2. Oh my! What a wonderful, wonderful game on so many different platforms. But it is absolutely brilliant. Amazing soundtrack. Huge game. And one that will keep you amused for hours and hours and hours. It's such a shame it doesn't have a system for being able to save your position in the game or resume, because you do have to start from the beginning every single time. But my goodness, I first saw this on the ST and thought this is good. I then played the Spectrum version, thought this is good, and the Amstrad version as well. And then eventually I got to the Amiga version, and it just blows those other versions away, although the other versions are perfectly good. Reviewed here on ChinnyVision. The first thing you do, of course, is go to the left-hand side of the level and get all the power-ups. It is just such a good game. It's definitive run-and-gun shooter. Never been bettered. Yes, there's games that look nicer. Yes, there's games that do individual elements better, but it is just the baddies and everything. And it, as I say, even just playing the demo version on the Amstrad, when Amstrad Action gave it away, up to the point you just saw when you meet the first kind of baddie on level 1, I was like, wow, can't believe they've done this on the Amstrad and here on the Amiga, and it's like, this is just mind-blowing. What a game. If I have any criticism of the game, it gets a bit samey later on with maze-like levels, and the soundtrack isn't as good later on, but you know, level 1, I think if you're going to pick a level of any game, level 1 of Turrican 2 on the Amiga is just like, yeah, that's the kind of definitive computer game, run and gun level, soundtrack, graphics, everything. But it is such a brilliant game. It's a hard game. It's a big game. If you can complete it, you've got superhuman skills. And wow. And of course, just when you think you've seen what the game does, you get into the later levels and it turns into a shoot 'em up. Suddenly it's Cactus. And they've done a shoot 'em up better than most people do, you know, dedicated shoot-em-ups. Catechist lives, and indeed it does. What a brilliant game. Jaguar XJ220. The Lotus games get all the heat on the Amiga, but XJ220, it's an Amiga exclusive title, I think, from memory. And actually, once you get into it, you go, my goodness, this is something else, because it's like a gap between the traditional 2D racers. I say 2D, they're 3D, but they're 2D sprites, and 3D gaming that's going to come, because you've got the 3D bridges, and it's very Sega. It feels much more like a Sega arcade game with all the scaling sprites and the little 3D bits here and there, and it all runs on a standard Amiga. It's got a cracking soundtrack. Yes, it suffers from the pox of weather conditions that all these games do in this era. So here's the fog level. Great. Means my view distance is hugely restricted, and it becomes like a PlayStation 1 racer. But apart from that, it's a terrific racer, and it's hugely underrated. Every Amiga owner wanted a Doom game, and Team 17 gave us one. And this is Alien Breed 2, requiring 4 meg on and a faster processor as well. But let's have a look, because yeah, this is what you're getting on your spec'd up Amiga, and this is Amiga's running at 28 megahertz. And oh dear, it is not good, is it? Amiga owners at the time kidded themselves that this was a rival for Doom and Doom 2 on the PC, but your Amiga is looking elderly and very, very slow. It's not great. Cannon fodder. Oh, cannon fodder. Again, a glorious, glorious game. Never been better. I've just loaded it up and got my last save game in. So here we are. Tosh Brains and Norm are going to go across a level that I think involves blowing up some huts that have a load of explosives next to them. Right, from memory, what I need to do is split my team, get across the smallest or shortest crossing, because you're very exposed when you're in the water, and blow the hell out of everyone. Right. Blow that up. Don't get... Oh, that's good. He got crushed by the roof. That's always the risk when you blow up a hut. The roof flies off and kills someone. Tosh is down here. Tosh lines from the bill. Oh, Tosh is dead. Okay, right. Anyway, let's get Brains and Norm down to the other side of the map. You've got to watch the enemies, because they will be in the water. Trying to get... I didn't intend to send my lads into the water there, but we've crossed them over now. No, I had blown that up. Right, come on. Get him. Right, let's go. Blow that with a grenade. Bam. Missed. Again. Yes. Right, got to be very careful, because we shoot that ammo there, which I think that's rockets. We're in trouble. So we got them. Right. Oh. Remarkably. Get away. Right. That was lucky. Did I get the rockets? What did I pick up there? No, I've got 4 rockets. That's grenades. Right. Right, let's see if we can use those rockets. Sweet! God, I love cannon fodder. I can't reach the other one. I've used them with rockets. Try a grenade. Blow them up. Yes! Carnage! Let's get out of range. I can shoot further than they can. Bam! Ammo. Right, let's get. We've blown those huts up. No more baddies can emerge from there. We've got to get around here. Right, come on. Oh, is that a ram in the rocket launcher there? Try and use the trees as covers, because he's going to hit me as soon. How can we get him? They're getting blown up. Yes. Another one. There's another one over there. Whoa. Oh. Back. Can we keep moving? Keep moving. Shoot him. Whoa. There's two of them. Shoot. One of my people have dead. Brains is left. Have I done the level? Yes! I love cannon fodder. And if you're remotely into computer gaming, you should as well. Blood Money, I saw this on my mate's ST, and was very impressed by it. Until I came to play it anyway.
There was menace. Now, Psygnosis presents a DMA design game. Blood Money.
There's a whole lot more coming.
The biggest unanswered question is where is the money?
You see, for all the brilliant intro and music and the nice graphics in the game, the thing about Blood Money is it's Mr. Helly. And although this is more polished than Mr. Helly on the Amiga, and indeed the same on the ST, Mr. Helly is the infinitely better game. Blood Money is just too hard. It was the first time I'd seen a game where you got these power-ups where you bought things in this manner. I mean, obviously Nemesis/Gradius, but not like this with a screen where you selected stuff. And that seemed quite cool, collecting money, getting the power-ups. But it is just so insanely hard, and also plodding, because it just kind of plods along at the same speed the entire time. And things just come at you, and again, once you've played Mr. Helly, you go, Mr. Helly is such a better game. Doesn't look as nice, but it plays better. And that's a real shame. It's that Psygnosis thing of graphics and sound over actual playability. Still, it impressed us at the time, and is still well remembered. Zool, the Amiga's answer to Sonic. Yet again. My gremlin. He's a ninja from the nth dimension. He's an ant, a ninja ant, sponsored by Chumpa Chops, which is why the game is so full of sweets. This is, I think, the AGA version loading. Does it have the... Yes, it does. This is the AGA version, pretty much the same as the standard version, except it has a faded background. And you initially play it and go, this is impressive. And then you realise it's just not really any fun. Yes, it's cool the way you can hang on to things and these different moves, but it's just not the games it's supposed to be aping. I.e., the new Mario game that would have been out at the time, 3 on the SNES, Sonic 2 probably by this stage actually, and yeah, it doesn't. It's a 70%er game. It just needs more. There's something about it that just doesn't quite feel right compared to those Japanese games. And the Amiga magazines, of course, went nuts over it, but it's not fondly remembered today. You don't see lots of people playing Zool in the way you see people playing Sonic or those other games. And it's just because I don't think they've refined it as much as it needed. And also the Chumpa Chops branding everywhere. Just kind of... Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Now, we had a look at Alien Breed 3D 2. Here's another Doom game on the Amiga, Gloom, running on my Amiga 1200 with extra memory and 28 megahertz. So there is that. But compare it to how Alien Breed runs on this same machine. It starts up in default in this tiny window, and look, it's lovely and smooth. And you can see it's a Doom-style game. But actually, you can take it up to full screen. And this actually compares relatively well to how Doom 2 ran on my first PC, an SX250. But it was slightly jerky, it wasn't particularly smooth. But yeah, this is far, far nicer. It's still no match for Doom 2. But actually, I was sitting here playing this going, yeah, this is actually kind of all right if you had an Amiga and nothing better, and it had an accelerator and the RAM. This would be acceptable until you could buy a cheap 486, as you could a few years later. The Amiga isn't built for this stuff. We know it. It doesn't have the grunt. It doesn't have the graphical power. It's slightly... It's not... You could actually show this game, Gloom, to someone if you had a faster Amiga and go, yeah, this is all right. The other games, they don't perform as well, and I didn't enjoy them as much. It's still not a game today that you're going to be playing on an Amiga, really. But at least it's an attempt. Allo Allo, an obvious game to be converted to your Amiga. The sitcom with Gordon Kay and Vicky Michelle and Edith, Carmen Silvera. So you have to find all the fake paintings of the fallen Madonnas with the big booby. And there's Renee! Oh, Renee! And there's a dog weeing outside your calf. You have to go inside your calf, which is suddenly much bigger than it was before. And there's this really annoying music track in the background that's very jaunty. There are comedy Nazis everywhere. And you collect things for energy. And it's a very generic platformer by Alternative Software under one of their sub-labels. At the time when they were licensing every BBC property they possibly could, including the terrible Doctor Who game. And in the right hands, an Allo Allo game could be pretty good. Imagine some kind of arcade adventure where you have to sneak into the chateau to get the picture of the fallen Madonna with the big boob. I mean, what is even going on there? But this is, yeah, it's a strange thing. Can't go up there because, you know, what Renee does in Allo Allo is wander around the sewers the entire time. Right? Yeah, that's all perfectly... Every episode of Allo Allo has Gordon Kay wandering around the sewers. We're in the chateau now. And the baddies suck their thumbs when they've been hurt. And, yeah, I just... It's not terrible. It's a hugely wasted opportunity, but Alternative would license anything they could get cheaply and then just kind of throw a game around it that was loosely based on the TV series. And it's a shame. I just wandering around waste matter in sewers is just, yeah. Why isn't there... Anyway. Robin Hood Legend Quest. It's Super Robin Hood on your 16-bit by Codemasters. Although they did actually release a version of this for some of the 8-bits, not the Amstrad, possibly the Spectrum and C64. It's not as good as Super Robin Hood. I had a demo of this on Amiga Action, which convinced me that, yeah, the demo was enough to, you know, you might as well just go and reload up Super Robin Hood on the Amstrad, because it's the same game, but more zoomed in, with some annoying samples and not as good, and baddies that you can't jump over or crouch from or shoot, and it yeah, feels very old-fashioned. I don't know, they've kind of zoomed it in, but not, because if you look down the bottom of the screen, there's a huge amount of wasted space, which suggests there is an ST version as well. See, how do you deal with him? You can't shoot him, you can't... Ugh. I think there's a NES version of this as well, isn't there? But it is Super Robin Hood. And frankly, you could have picked the second-hand copy of that up for your 8-bits for 50p at this stage. And as I say, the Amstrad version, which is the original of that game, is fantastic. This isn't. Banshee, Amiga 1200 shoot 'em up in the style of 1942, 1943, Swiv, you name it, it's here. And it looks rather nice. 256 colours, it's what Amiga games should be looking like at this point, with the AGA chipset. It's nothing new, but it's all done rather nicely. The amount of power-ups it gives you seems very generous. The graphics are really nice, it's smooth, And there's some huge baddies very early on in the game to kill, which is nice. Is what you expect from your 32-bit home microcomputer. Look at this, it's lovely. Yes, you've seen it in other games, but that's not the point. It's done really well here. And then we'll look at a steampunk near future vibe. Oh, I've blown up. There you go. Oh, he's disintegrating. Again, not my cup of tea necessarily, but if you like this kind of shoot 'em up, then it's something a bit different. It's not a port from a Japanese arcade game as far as I'm aware. It is something new, something original on your Amiga, and it's done rather well. Oh, I've lost my life again. And we got an extra life, hooray! And I've done it. You can shoot like so many of these other games, you can shoot the power-ups and turn them into a kind of a different level of power-up that you might prefer. But there's so many influences here. And you've got weather here as well, which is nice. Again, just leveraging the power of the 1200. It's a game I like to shout about because, yes, nothing particularly original. We've seen it all before, but it is all done very, very well. That said, Swiv is on budget by this point, so you could probably have that for £8. Micro Machine's a game you might associate more with the Mega Drive, but yeah, there's an Amiga version. I think it started off here. It's by Ash and Dave, of course, I think, who did Slicks on the C64. And it's a top-down, very basic racer, but multiplayer and incredibly fun. There's about 20 million versions of this, isn't there? And of course, it's based on those tiny little cars that came out, well, way before this, actually. I remember having them in the mid to late 80s. And you race around on tabletops and things like that. That's the gimmick of this game. It's not a real-world racer. You're racing around on the tabletop here with lots of different things, an orange, a bit of potato waffle, some Rice Krispies, against different racers, but you have to battle your way through a tournament, and also you can race against friends on some of the 16-bit cartridge versions. They come with 2 extra joystick ports, doesn't it, on the Mega Drive, so you can race against 4 people if you have 4 friends. Initially seems like quite a childish game, and then you get into racing it with... It's really, really good. Fiddly, and the different cars handle different vehicles, because there's more than just cars, handle differently. You can be in boats at various points. And you really have to... You quite often won't master a level until you've had a few goes on it. Switchblade by Core Design / Gremlin, which I love on the Amstrad GX 4000 and Plus. And look, here on the Amiga, it's the same game. It's smoother. Doesn't look as good, does it? Look here, up here, the Amiga should have a lovely copper effect. And it's just red. But I love Switchblade, and I love it far more than Switchblade 2. It's a great game, be it on the Amiga, on the Spectrum, or on the Amstrad. You know the plot. You are hero, last of the Blade Knights, and you have to get your magical sword or something by getting all the different bits, and then you're going to defeat a final boss because he's taken it from you. And it all happens underground, so you now jump underground, lose all your energy, and immediately kick left because it will give you all your energy again. It's a fantastic game, and it doesn't generally throw nasty surprises at you. There are some jumps of faith into it, like going down that thing there. But the game will usually, actually always has, little things around to give you power-ups. You just need to look. It's all there. It's all really well thought out. And it's from the people who gave us Rick Dangerous, which I don't think is a well thought out game. And it's just a memory test. Switchblade is not a memory test. I really do like it, and it's a game with some depth. It's not a game you just leap into. You have to explore. And although it's not like, say some of those Turrican levels where they become a bit of a maze, actually, there is a linear route through this game, and it is all quite logical. And a pleasing amount of big baddies halfway through levels as well, like here. Well, it's not really levels, it's like one giant game, but at various points you will come across giant bugs and things, like here. You'd have seen these little bugs, smaller versions of, and then you've kind of got the daddy version here that you need to finish off. You go through there and different baddies will start appearing soon, so you get a really good sense of progressing through the game. You start to see new baddies. Nice power up there. Always be aware you could get trapped. There's a new baddie there. Kind of giant. Don't know what that is. I like Switchblade. It's a really good game. Switchblade 2 didn't do it for me. And I think, yeah, it is actually a forgotten about standout title on the Amiga. Shadow of the Beast. Now, of course, Shadow of the Beast 2 is the game that got everyone flocking to Amigas when it was being demoed in shops. But Shadow of the Beast is also a game that turned heads. The amazing soundtrack, the fantastic graphics, the parallax, everything about it. Of course, when you come to play this game on the 8-bits, you realise it is just a little bit empty and a lot of running around. But here on the Amiga, you can just soak it all in. And a quite expensive game that came with a t-shirt as well. This game evokes more kind of feelings of a certain era of game than actually being a fantastic game to play. But it is one that's nice to revisit once in a while, also for the massive end-of-level baddies, if you can get that far. And if you do like ChinnyVision and everything we do here on the channel, and of course you're watching this one out of Amiga Games advert-free, then there is a Ko-Fi to help support the channel, help the podcast subscription fees and all that stuff. Details in the description below, and the bonus videos on there are free for everyone to view, regardless of if you support the channel or not. All that, and we'll just search ChinnyVision Ko-Fi. Premier Manager! An amazing management game. The only one I'm showing today, of course, Championship Manager, is the big name. And the original Premier Manager is the best of the Premier Manager series. The rest of the games just get a little bit too complicated. This is the purest, where you take a team from the Vauxhall Conference all the way up to the Premier League. And yeah, fantastic game, very evocative, will suck you in very quickly, even though on a video like this, it really doesn't come across of how good it is. Have we had any fighting games yet? No, I don't think so, so let's play Mortal Kombat 2 on the Amiga. Huge noise about Mortal Kombat, and this is the second of the games. I wasn't a huge fan back in the day. Street Fighter 2, yes, like that. Mortal Kombat always seemed a bit gratuitous, and the digitised graphics, which seemed to impress everyone else, I always thought looked a bit messy, and this is a conversion by Probe, so yeah. Let's see. It's Mortal Kombat. Some people really like this. People go on about, oh, you can rip people's head off and there'll be blood everywhere. That seemed to be the fuss about the game, not how good it was. And just look how flat everything looks. It's digitised graphics, but it's so flat. There's no up and beaten. Yeah, they jiggle back and forth, but the background's really flat. The animation is pretty poor. It's not a good game. No matter what, even the arcade version is just like, it's all about the graphics. And if you take that away on this Amiga version and remove the kind of animation and the colour depth, it's just kind of a bit crap. Fatality, whoa. It's the kind of thing that get teenage boys excited because you can rip people's heads off. R-Type 2, I didn't know there was an R-Type 2. So let's give this a go. So is it more of the same? Hopefully. Even the same tune. It is more of the same, and this is a really nice handling version of R-Type. I can't remember what R-Type 1 is like on the Amiga now. It certainly wasn't my go-to version of it. But if we have... Yeah, there's a power-up thing. We can... There we go. Well, it's more of the same and very polished. This is quite nice. Is it PC Engine quality? No. But what is? Died? It will, of course, being R-Type, be a memory test. But, yeah. Wish I could remember what the Amiga versions of the first game's like for reference, but I can't. But so far, so good. Another 2. Uridium 2. Uridium, the brilliant game on the C64, and also good on the BBC Micro. And I remember playing this on an Amiga format cover disc and thinking, if I see this in the shops, I'll buy it. But I never saw it, so I couldn't buy it. But it's by the same coders as the original game, Andrew Braybrook and his mate. Yeah, his mate. So it's going to be faithful. Again, I don't know why it's crushed up like that. Again, I don't like seeing Amiga games where they're wasting 56 pixels at the bottom of the screen just to make sure that ST owners can have a conversion. A lot of preamble because 16-bit games got to feel like you're getting money. But is it Uridium? Is it Uridium? I know it's Uridium because I played that demo. And not Uridium on the ST as well, because that's one of the worst games ever made. Yay! Here we go. Computer gaming at its finest. Criticisms? Well, you can get a little bit lost above the busyness of the ship graphics. It does play better on a CRT no matter how good your scaler is. It just does. Right, trust me, it needs such fast reactions that you need to put this on your Philips or Commodore monitor to get the best out of it. But it's everything you'd expect with a cracking soundtrack, cracking graphics, 50 frames a second. It's such a shame it is not full screen. Why? Why, Graph Gold? And now you get this level here at the end when you've landed. It's a little bit different from the original version. You've got to shoot all the little things that come out, and then eventually you get your power up. I never really... Yeah, it gives you a bit of variation. I just kind of think, well, they had to do something different from the original version, which was a kind of a reflexes test, wasn't it? Certainly on the BBC, it just goes and you have to select what power-up you want. Were the other versions different? I think they might have been. So we've done what we need to do. We've got our power-up. Select the power-ups. It's a shame this sequence isn't as impressive as the rest of the game. But never mind. Collect everything while the place is falling apart, and it goes on forever. And I just want to be outside shooting things again. I've been destroyed, and I want to be outside shooting things. Let's get back to the good stuff. There we go. This is what we want. Look at it. Look at it. It's lovely. Again, just a shame your craft is the same colour as what's on the ship below. It just means... Although you are always central, which makes it easier. And some of the enemy craft as well actually are the same colour. Again, you just want a bit more distinction rather than having gold-coloured craft against a gold-coloured background. All minor annoyances, because this game is bleeding brilliant. Love it. Proper computer game. Lovely stuff. Oh dear, it's Flare. Yes, got another fighting game. It's Dangerous Streets. Oh! There's a lot of Lady Bottom on display in this game, and this screen is no exception. Yes, your mate's got Street Fighter 2 2 years before, and in come Flare with the what would become a packing game with the CD32. So you could show this to your SNES-owning friends and go, look what my CD32 can do. Or look what my A1200 could do. Was it horny? Anyway, wait. Yeah. So as a static screenshot, this doesn't look too bad, if you ignore the blocky background graphics. But the animation, oh boy. And the music, which slows down. See? It just slows down when there's a lot going on. This is terrible. It's coded by an Italian software house, and Commodore thought it was good enough to use as a pack-in game to show off the abilities of their system. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Yes, there's a lot of colours on screen. Yes, it's full screen. But, and I've chopped off the bottom somehow. I think I had the RetroTink set up for the Amstrad CPC when I captured this, but never mind. Yeah, it's an embarrassing end for the Amiga, isn't it? It's trying to be a SNES. It is failing. It doesn't play well. It doesn't handle well. There are 256 colours on the screen. But it's just, and a lot of lady bottom around. But, yes. I mean, this character is clearly Mario, isn't it? And look, what's his special move? Because all the special moves are ludicrous. Wait for it. Wait for me to trigger it. Because there's no connection between what happens on the joystick and what's actually happening on the screen. It's a small man who jumps out of his stomach. Ugh. Dreadful. Alien Breed Tower Assault. It's another Alien Breed game. Because Team 17 never like to grind a concept into the ground, right? So, yeah, it's...
You're on your own.
You've crash landed on a planet, and you have to find your way around. It's the same thing over and over again, which is what Team 17 did. Nothing particularly new and exciting, except this version feels quite empty. And they like dropping bombs on you, and there's mines everywhere as well you need to watch out for, which I'm just triggering off there to show you. It's fun. And it's Alien Breed, but it's been done to death by now. Because I say Team 17 just like to squeeze out the same thing over and over again if they had a working concept that sold well. That's level 1 done. Just lacks that tension the original Alien Breed game had, where you're wandering around and suddenly, oh look, there's a load of aliens around the corner. More Team 17 with Overdrive. Because again, take someone else's concept and make your own version. It's Micro Machines, but kind of, or any other top-down racer. Team 17-fied. And they were great supporters of the Amiga. It's just they didn't have to churn out some stuff. And yeah, it's... Here we go. It's Micro Machines / any other top-down racer. The difference here is you only got 3 cars. For some reason, best known to Team 17. It's lovely and fast. It has nice graphics. It has a stupid turbo system where you run over a turbo on the track and suddenly you're twice as fast, but the draw distance in front is so small you don't get much warning. You're about to run over a turbo and then you just crash into a corner. I mean, again, they probably put this out at a kind of midpoint pricing area, which is good, but... And as ever with their games, well presented. But you can see why Amiga Power was so harsh on them the entire time, because they're looking at the wider gaming world. They're not just in their little Amiga enclave going, oh, this is really fantastic. It's like they've got the console magazines down the corridor playing Micro Machines and games like it. Going, really? Really? Yes, it's cheap. Yes, it's on your Amiga. But you don't just say it's good because of that. It's reasonable. It's a 70% game. Again, it's not a kind of, oh, brilliant, we've got this on the Amiga. Because I think the thing that happened with the Amiga was the owners were so desperate for games by the end, they'd just buy anything and the magazines would give high scores to anything. That's no reason to say a game is good. Base completed. And there's better games around to buy as well, to be honest, Super Stardust and stuff like that. And what you want in your Amiga is something to stand out, something new, like it had years before. And why only 3 cars? You know, 3 cars seems very few, unless you get more later on in the game. But it means if you're up ahead, you're never going to get traffic in front of you. And memory limitations, something like that. Micro Machines has 4. 4 seems reasonable. And I'm thinking I'd much rather be playing Supercars 2. Even though it doesn't look and sound as nice as this. But it's, yeah. And it's the turbos in the middle of the circuit, again. It's nice, but 70%. Rainbow Islands. I love it. I own a Japanese copy of this on the Mega Drive. It's one of my favourite games. The only reason I've never reviewed it is because Mr. PSP will basically tear me into bits by telling me how terrible I am at Rainbow Islands, and I'm doing everything wrong, and I should do everything in a certain sequence, and do the special incantation to unlock the warp to level 7 when you get the bananas, and so on. Anyway, I like Rainbow Islands. I just like it as a game, and that's it. And it is the best home I like the Spectrum version. I really do like the Spectrum version. It's monochrome, but it's bleeding good. But this is the best 16-bit home computer version. It's crushed up because of, again, ST-itis, where games are done in an ST resolution, so they port easily between the systems. Mega Drive version, yeah, I mean, why it never came out in the UK and Europe, I've got no idea, because it's a cracking version. But if you had an Amiga back in the day, you would have loved this, and I know the magazine scored it highly. Amstrad version's good as well, but they're a little bit slow. But I like it, and I can never review it because I'll just, again, be ripped to shreds. But I haven't collected the diamonds in the special order, so I'm going to die. Sensible Soccer! One of the best games of all time. I could happily play this all time. Chosen version 1.1, which was the European Championship edition, which both me and my mate had. He got it first, and when I first played it, I couldn't get it. And then suddenly, after playing it for a while, you go, this is brilliant. This is the best football game ever. And it remains that to this day. You can get Sensible World of Soccer, manage teams, and so on. But for me, this is the one, the music is right. This is the one I hammered to death when I should have been revising for my GCSEs. Let's do a friendly match. Chinny FC versus Celtic. Go my use with 3-5-2. Let's play the game. Come on. We're in our away strip. Celtic are at home. And here we go. We're in our yellow and blue strip. Celtic are kicking off. Now, can I remember what to do? Because Sensi is a game where if you haven't played it for like a month, you've lost the feel of it and you need a while to get back into the feel. It's weird. It's some games you can just pick up again and play. Sensi, I always find I need a few games just to get back into it. Especially if I've been playing something like the Mega Drive version, which has simplified controls. It lets you hold on to the ball more from memory. So you come back to the Amiga version and go, I can't run with the ball. And that's the thing about Sensible Soccer. You really can't run with the ball very long. Because the longer you run with it, the less controllable it becomes. Oh! Go! Whoa! Come on then. Oh, he screwed up that. Right, let's get this. Who's my star players on here? I can't remember. Mr. PSP's in the... getting another mention in the midfield, I know that. I think it's Richard Shaw right and Pete Prodge up front, I think. Oh, no, right. Let's get the ball off. Come on. No! Oh! There's Rod Hull there in goal, I think. I'm going to get score. Yay! Oh, nice. That was fairly easy. Pete Prodge there on the 14th minute. Come on. Right, let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, lost control. You've got to get your passing together. And also, if you know where your star players are, star players have... Oh, another goal! Star players can control the ball more. So if you know where they are, you can run with the ball longer and score. And I think that was probably a case. That was Mensky on the 18th minute there. Forwarded it on. And I've scored yet another goal. So Pete Rogers on his hat-trick. I can say I safely say I haven't lost my touch. And I'm beating Celtic unless Celtic happen to be a rubbish team. Oh, yes! Nice one! That was liquid football. That's Proj on 4 goals. He must have something in his tea. Oh, nearly an own goal there. Press the fire button at the wrong point and that would have gone in. Oh, nearly. They've Celtic putting pressure on again. Corner. It's going to end up a 5-1, isn't it? They're going to pressure me now. Up the pitch. Come on, we can... Oh! Balling pass there. Yes! Nice. He's got a foot like a traction engine. Who was that? That was... Celdust, that was. Can we go for another one? Can we get another one? Can we get another one? Come on. Oh, full time. What was that, 6? 6-0. My team is very, very good. And I salute each and every player. 3D simulation games in terms of racing. Not had any of those yet. So let's look at No Second Prize. A game that Amiga Power brought to people's attention and is a development of, I think, Team Suzuki. And yes, this is an accelerated Amiga, and yes, someone's going to kick off in the comments because of that. I don't care. It's pretty fluid on a standard Amiga 500 and a 1200, but here on 28 megahertz 1200, look at it go. Use the mouse to control the game, and it takes some getting used to. It's very simple vector graphics, but look at the fluidity. Yes, I know, accelerated Amiga, blah, 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 blah. Lovely sound effects as the bikes pass by you on the correct side. Oh, I'm off. You can set the mouse sensitivity, and you do need to practice beforehand and set that up correctly, because one false twitch, one sneeze, and you're going to die. Helicopter following the lead players, and you can have a view from that helicopter at any time if you wish. Actually, it's only on replay. I can't remember. Anyway, we're racing. I'm first. I'm second. Because he's over. I'm third. Oh, yes. Nice one. Right. Foot down. And the thing at No Second Prize is there will be back markers in front of you. So there's always something to do. It's not like Formula 1 Grand Prix when you're in first and then there's nothing until you start lapping the back markers. It does get a little bit repetitive in terms of there's another bike to pass. You don't know why these bikes are there because you've started and raced the game, but never mind, it does give you something to do. Also makes it hard to tell apart who are genuine back markers and who are just people hanging around, because this is one busy circuit. Look at it go. Get the cornering right. Whoa, I'm off. That's the thing at the mouse controls. As I say, you need to get used to them. You do a straight and then, I've hit someone. Wobbling around trying to correct. Whoa! In real life, I'd be dead by now. But what a terrific game. Bubble Dizzy, an underrated budget game that's pretty terrible on the Amstrad and Spectrum. But here on the Amiga, it's one of those games I bought on a Saturday when there wasn't much else on offer. And then it's like, actually, this is pretty good. You jump on the bubbles and rise to the top. Graphics are nothing special. The game seemingly is nothing special. But actually, it's a terrific little arcade game with a soundtrack that, as your oxygen runs out, gets faster and faster. And bubbles are always pop when you jump off them. You can get extra oxygen like I did there. Smaller bubbles go faster, bigger bubbles go slower, and you have to keep on moving and avoid the bad guys and the crabs. And it looks kind of like a kid's game. And really it's not. It's a much more of a kind of in-depth gameplay and strategy than it has any right to have. You just have to work out your route to the top, and the fluidity on the Amiga version is what makes it. And the appalling speed and graphics on the Spectrum and Amstrad versions especially are what ruin it on that system. Because of course this is nicked from, the concept is kind of nicked from, partly from Treasure Island Dizzy and partly from a NES Dizzy game, isn't it? I.e. Dizzy's got the snorkel for oxygen, like in Treasure Island Dizzy, and then has to use bubbles to get to the surface, and I think this one is developed from that onto the NES, then it comes across to the Amiga. I think it's a tremendously underrated Amiga game that Dizzy somehow tarnishes, or Dizzy character tarnishes, and it's really good. I think it's one of the, apart from Quick Snacks, it's one of the best Dizzy arcade games. So there is an hour of Amiga games. Your favourite probably isn't in there. You're probably going to write something in the comments about that. But never mind. Again, a reminder, there is the ChinnyVision podcast, there is ChinnyVision 2, and there is the Ko-Fi as well if you want to support the channel. But I hope you enjoyed that as an interesting diversion. Might have shown you a few games that you knew, a few games that you didn't know, and you may disagree with me about my assessment of some of the games. That's absolutely fine. Put it in the comments below. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.